Now I will, try to keep this interactive so that you get involved, and then feel free to ask questions as many time as you want. There is, no, there should not be any hesitation in asking you questions, because we are here to learn. So even if you think it's a basic question or it sounds stupid, feel free to ask. Right, I'm here to clear all your doubts. So now, before starting with AEM, have anyone have any idea about what AEM is? Whether they have worked on it in the past, whether they have heard about it, or whether they have, some notion of what this product is and what it does. Anyone?
No.
No.
Okay. No, no one has heard about AEM or Adobe Experience Manager.
No,
No.
not yet.
Okay. Now let me ask another question. Anyone has heard about a content management system, or a CMS in short?
CMS in the sense customer relationship service management service, some other thing.
Okay. Anyone else? Give it a try. Even if it's wrong, don't worry. Content management system, web content management system, enterprise content management system. Okay. No one. All right. So I'll have to start from basic. And, feel free to speak. I may not be able to monitor the chat box all the time. So let me start with the basic thing. So content management system, right? Content management system is something which manages your content. Now, what a content could be, okay? And I would urge everybody to pay close attention to what we were discussing, because we'll try to touch some of the basic concepts, and then we'll start building on top of it, right? And same way, when we'll start the hands-on, right? We'll start with the very basic exercises, then we'll start building on top of it. Now, if you miss any one of the exercise, then what will happen? You'll keep missing the other ones, because the next one builds on top of. So for example, if you build a component, right, that component will be used in the next exercise. So if you miss something, you will miss the next exercise, and then it will go on. Now usually, when the internet was born, right, there used to be a simple static website, right, maybe a couple of pages, where you add some content, right? Content could be text, it could be an article, it could be an image, right? Later on, as it evolved, we got addition of maybe videos, PDF files, and whatnot, right? All the kind of digital content. Now, when everything started, it was very simple, right? Anybody can just go open an editor, write some basic HTML, add some images, and then create a website. As it started to evolve, when bigger companies, bigger enterprises, and then e-commerce came into play, you require a system using which you can create that content easily, efficiently, right? And then we will discuss about what complexities can be there. But now, to give you an example, just imagine, say maybe online newspaper site. I believe everybody would have seen one, right? How the online newspaper site looks like, maybe Times of India or something. Now imagine there are breaking story, a lot of news coming from all around the world, right? And to be in the business, you have to be on top of everything. You should publish the content as soon as possible, right? The moment the news is coming. Now imagine that a news is coming, a reporter is reporting a story. You have to publish it, as soon as possible. But then you go to your developer, right, your website developer, and ask them to do an HTML coding for it. Will that be feasible?
Okay.
Does it, can it work where you are creating maybe 100, you're breaking 100 stories all around the world every hour? can you go back to your developer and ask them to create HTML page of the news story every time,
No, it became
No, not
complex.
possible. No,
correct?
not possible.
So
It became complex.
yeah, right. So in this case, right, in the case of a newspaper website, what is our content? What is the
So
content in this case?
we should display some static data over there, like some.
Yeah, I mean, the content is nothing but your news stories, right? It could be headlines, it could be a detailed news article, it could be an images of any incident that happened, right? So you need a system which can manage this content efficiently without you to have to go back to developer each time to create something, right? Now I can build on top of this example, like another scenario, right? Uh, Imagine a website like Amazon or Flipkart, right? Now they keep adding content every minute. Thousands of products are getting added every hours to the site, right? And a lot of people are visiting the site, they are checking it out, they are placing the order. A lot of product data is getting ingested. It's a huge system, right? Now again, you cannot go back to your developer and ask them, I need to create 100 pages because I'm adding 100 project 100 new product into my site, right? Now this is one scenario. Now again, you build on top of it, and then uh, you know I think so, guys. If anybody not speaking, they can go on mute, right? But whenever you feel free, just unmute yourself. I'm hearing a lot of disturbance here.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe Shinas, if you're there, maybe you can mute someone who's not muted. It's Nayaz, I think. Nayaz. Nayaz, can you hear us? Can you please join mute, man? Okay, seems he's busy. Anyway, I will try to manage. So now, now think about same Flipkart or Amazon example, and then these sites operate in multiple countries, right? Multiple languages. Now, the site that is operating in, say, United States may also be operating in, say, France. Now, okay, it's a lot of disturbance here. Srinivas, you there? Can you put this guy on mute, Niaz? Srinivas, are you there? Okay, it's difficult to concentrate. Anyway, so yeah, now suppose the site is in English, and then you have to add a product, and then you have to add the product into the site which is in French. Right now, again, you cannot translate the content manually, right? It will require a lot of effort. And then, apart from that, you have a huge amount of digital assets. What is the digital assets? Digital assets, your images, your product images, your product brochures, your ratings, reviews. Everything has to be managed. Everything has to be, added to the site without a lot of technical involvement, right? So these are some of the problem which a content management system solves. And then when we talk about a content management systems and an enterprise, like a big, large, multinational organization, it is called a web content management or enterprise web content management, right? So AEM or Adobe Experience Manager is nothing but an enterprise web content management platform. Any questions here? Okay, let me reach out to Srinivas. I think I'll be able to. Just give me a minute, guy.
It is not possible for admin. They can mute a particular guys.
Yeah, I think I've not made a host here, which is why I'm not
Okay.
able to.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, I think it's gone. All right, guys. So Adobe Experience Manager is a web content management tool or an enterprise web content management platform, right? It is part of Adobe Marketing Cloud. Anybody here of this company before Adobe?
Yeah, here, Brandon.
We
Okay,
heard
Yeah, I
about it.
know. Yeah.
okay. What do you know about Adobe? What product it produces?
Like,
Adobe will convert like some Adobe readers are there. I think
they have
Okay,
some
SSD
products.
also.
I think the most common product should be PDF. If you have
Yeah.
used a PDF document, it is
Yeah,
created
PDF,
by Adobe
Photoshop.
Systems,
And
right?
Photoshop.
The second most popular is Photoshop, right?
Yeah,
Nowadays,
Photoshop. Yeah.
if suppose anybody captures an image and makes some changes into it using any tool in the world,
Editing.
people people will tell it's
Adobe
it's
Premiere.
yes, yeah, I'll come to it. So, people will say it's Photoshop, right? Even if you make the changes in your mobile with a default editor, people will say it is Photoshop. So it is so popular product. And of course, Upend and other people are saying Premiere Pro, right? Those are used for graphics design, video editing, audio editing. So hell lot of software there is there, right? Now, Adobe also has another different line of product, and I'll talk about different line of products, which is used for marketing or digital marketing, right? And the product that Adobe has, it's the top in the world, meaning, the Adobe's product in enterprise web content management are top in the world from last 14 to 15 years, right? It's the most used, most costly product, and it is used by almost all the big software companies. There's a huge demand for this product, right? Uh, all across, USA, India, and lot of demand for the developers. So AEM, nothing but enterprise web content management solution using which you can create, edit, manage, deploy the content with very ease of use interface without doing the actual coding. It is part of a marketing cloud, and I'll talk about some other marketing cloud product also, because if you are working in any AEM project, there are chances that those companies are also using other product from this family, which is Adobe Marketing Cloud. Okay, then I'll
Okay.
talk about some of the capabilities of AEM. Right, I just gave you a glimpse of what it can do, what it cannot, but then we'll deep dive into this. Just a second. All right, sorry guys. Okay, so we'll talk about the capabilities of AEM, and then we'll talk about how we maintain the users, how we create the users, what kind of different roles are there in AEM. Meaning, there could be admin role, there could be a developer role, there could be an author role, right? And then we are going to talk about the technology stack. What are the different technologies? So that's why I was asking you, to mention me what technologies you are aware, because it is based on Java, right? The core of this platform is run on a Java virtual machine. So if you have a basic background in Java, then it will help you to understand the entire platform very easily. You would need some basic knowledge of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and a little bit of UI framework as well. Okay. Okay, somebody is asking about the link. So guys, the link is mentioned in the chat box. If you do not have it, I can send it to you again. Only 22 people have so far entered. So let me send you the link again. Okay, I'm sending the link again. You can go and enter the information there. Okay, so now coming to the marketing cloud solution, as I said, how many of you have heard about digital transformation, going digital, digital marketing, and anybody aware of what it is?
Digital marketing in the sense,
In digital marketing, we can advertise or we can publish our paper or our advertisement to the internet, or like it's a Facebook, Instagram. So it's come under the digital marketing.
Yeah. So correct. For digital marketing is, you can say a part of uh, a digital transformation. And when we talk about a digital transformation, it's very vast, right? Nowadays, every company needs to be digital. Okay, otherwise they will not survive. And when we talk about being digital, it does not mean only creating the website. Yeah, it means a lot of other things, which again we're going to discuss. Okay, and digital transformation or businesses going digital is a very important thing and very hot thing in the market right now, because if you are not going digital, then your business will not survive. Okay, and going digital does not only mean creating a website or creating a mobile app. I'll discuss about this. And then, if you probably paying attention to some of the news articles, or if you're reading business news, or if you follow IT companies, you would notice that every big companies have their digital arm, right? So you can see, and you can, even do a Google search. You would say TCS Digital, Infosys Digital, Wipro Digital, HCL Digital, Cognizant Digital, right? Accenture Digital. So in the digital transformation space, or this entire digital journey, there are technologies that do certain tasks. Okay, so when we say going digital, it does not mean creating a website, because those have been since long, right? When the internet was born, every businesses would have their website where people can go find out about the product. And going digital also does not mean just creating a mobile app, right? Because those are again with us since long. You have mobile apps of a company, you go to a Play Store or an App Store and then download those, and then you start using them, right? When we talk about the digital, it is meaning businesses going to the consumer, or businesses understanding their customer better, or businesses are connecting the dots between a customer journey. Okay, might sound a big words to you, but let me explain. So in this marketing cloud product suite, the most important product that we will be discussing is AEM, or Experience Manager, right? So on this slide, you see on the top right, you see Experience Manager icon, right? So this is AEM. Now, as I said, using AEM, you can create your website pretty easily, quickly. What do you have to do? Suppose you have to create a product page, right? And you are a person from the marketing team or product team. You don't know H of HTML and you don't know J of Java. Still, with the help of AEM, you can create a full-fledged, very beautiful page within a couple of seconds, right? And how we do it, we're gonna do it ourselves. So basically, I don't know if anybody has seen a Visual Basic kind of environment where you drag and drop the components onto a canvas, and then your page is ready. So similar way, the content authors or the marketing team or the business team, they can just, with the help of a mouse, drag and drop pieces of content onto a canvas, click a button, and their page or multiple pages or even a website would be ready within no time. Okay, so that is the power of content velocity, or the power that AEM gives you to create world-class, enterprise-class website with very easy to use interface. And this is just one part of it. There are many other features which we are going to explore. Okay, so creating the content very quickly, easily, and which is engaging content is very important of becoming digital, right? If your website is not engaging, now assume you yourself, right? You are there in the market for, say, purchasing let's say a mobile phone, right? Now you go to a site A, right, which has a very clunky interface. You have to do a lot of navigation to find out the right product, and if you have to do multiple clicks to understand the product detail. The checkout flow is not that good. The website looks very, you can say, unprofessional. You go to site B, which is very engaging. The content is very very good. You type iPhone, and it spits out all the combination of the iPhone with different offers. You see one click checkout button. You can easily make a checkout. You can apply discount, and it will give you an instant notification of your order is placed, and then how much time it is going to take, when the order has been shipped, where it is in the journey, when it is going to be delivered. Now, within the site A or within the site B, which is the site that you are going to choose for your purchase? Anyone? What website would you choose?
Which engages with the customer, only
We
that one we choose.
Correct, right? So this is from
yes.
the user's perspective, right? So if the content is engaging, if the content is good, it is resonating with your customer, then of course the customer will come. And if the customer will come, then only your business will survive, right? If the customer does not come, your business is going to fail. So that's why the AEM or Experience Manager comes into the play, which can help you create a lot of engaging content pretty easily, pretty quickly. Okay, so within this marketing cloud, I hope you guys understand the role of Experience Manager. Of course, this is just, again, you can say, a tip of the iceberg, right? It's just a basic info. There are a lot of other capabilities which we are going to discuss later. But any questions here so far?
By using this AEM, we develop only the websites, or the backend part also we will be coding here.
Yes, very good question. So any website which is dynamic, right, which gets the content, for example, a scenario, you log into the site, your name, your address, your profile, your phone number, your past purchases, everything comes right on your profile page. Now this data would be coming from some backend. It would be stored in somewhere in a database, and then there would be a backend code which will be fetching this data, sending it to the website page, and then it will be shown onto the website. Correct? So yes, I mean, all this backend thing you do on the backend side of it. You have to write Java code, you have to write servlets, you have to write interfaces, you have to write implementation, you have to write code to get the data from the backend database or from a third-party system, or any other integration. So yeah, everything is there in this platform. Any other question?
Okay. Yes, it is clear. Thank you, Kumar.
Sure. Okay. Now, second thing. The second thing that you see is campaign. Okay, here. Now, which is another Adobe product. It is called Adobe Campaign. Now, this is a marketing automation tool. Now, when we say marketing automation tool, using this tool, you can send out marketing communication to all your customers. Whether it's email, whether it's SMS, whether it's a mobile app, or a direct mail, or even you can integrate with the call center, right? So, for example, if you place an order, right, you would expect an email to come immediately with the order confirmation number and the order details, right? You would also expect an SMS to be delivered to you, right? If you have a mobile app, you would expect that a notification would come of the order placement, correct? Now, with this tool, you can orchestrate all these marketing messages at one place, right? So it will store all your customer database, customers into the database, and then again using a drag and drop interface, you can define. Suppose you want to launch a new product and you want to send out the email communication to everyone. Then in that case, what you have to do, you have to just drag and drop an email activity, and then you have to define a query. See, I want to send out an email to all my customers who have done a purchase in last 6 months to give a 10% discount. So you just drag and drop a query activity, right? You define the criteria, and then you drag and drop an email activity. You connect them together. You click on execute button. Automatically, the email will be sent, right? Same for the SMS. Same goes for the mobile app. Same goes for the direct mail. Same goes for call center integration. So it is called, marketing automation, or marketing orchestration software. Now, why is it important in this context? Because there are many customers, or most of the customers, who are using Adobe Campaign and AEM together. So if you end up in a project, you may find out that there are projects which are using Campaign to send out email messages, but those email messages are getting designed and created within AEM. So if you do the integration right, you will be able to create the email messages with images and all the content and everything. You can even personalize it. So automatically you write hi, and then you write a token, say first name. So now if you have 10,000 customers in your database, automatically it will pick up the customer name and it will add the name of that person in each of these 10,000 emails, right? So all that you can do with the help of this integration. So that's why the most common integration that you would find into an AEM project would be AEM and campaign, right? So if you are ending up in a project which has campaign also, you would have a basic idea, right? We are not going to do any technical deep dive how this tool works, or how do you develop things in here, because campaign is not part of this training. But at least you should have a basic idea what campaign is, what problem does it solve, and how these two solutions integrate together. Okay, so this is the second product. Any questions here?
Sir, AEM tool is used only for web application or is it applicable for mobile applications or desktop applications too?
No, it is for creating the enterprise website more mainly. There is a plugin using which you can create a mobile app, sort of, which is called a hybrid app, but it does not have too much functionality, right? So if you have to create a mobile app, you would need to create a native app. I don't know if you understand the difference between a native app and hybrid app, but native app is something which can interact with your hardware, keep they can utilize the hardware features and more natively integrated with the platform like the hardware and software, which is not possible in AEM. But yeah, you can create a basic HTML based web app.
Okay.
All right, so let's move to the next one. If you have no questions for AEM and campaign, let's move to the third solution, which is again the most common one after the campaign, which is analytics. Anybody heard about Google Analytics? Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. Anybody knows what web analytics means?
It could be analyzing the group of data.
Uh, yeah, I mean, you are almost correct. But let me give you the scenarios, right? And this is also very important. Suppose you are a business, right? And you are launching your website. Now, you have to do marketing of your website that so that the user knows about your website, correct? Now, suppose there are a couple of options, okay? Uh, Maybe you can do, I don't know if you know about, but you can do Google Ads, which is called AdWords, right? So whenever you go to Google, right, and you search for, say, iPhone, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe those four links would be paid, right? And there'll be a small letter written in as ad. Anybody noticed it,
Yes, sir. Yes.
right?
I don't.
Yes, yes, yes.
I noted it.
So those are paid results, right? Meaning if you are launching a website, right, there are couple of ways using which your website can be on top, right? So if you do a Google search, there would be hundred thousands or even millions of results. Now, how many of us goes beyond one page, right? At the most, we will check first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seven, eight, nine, maybe 10th link. Rarely, some of us may go to the second page or even third page, but then there are 10,000 pages, right? Now, if your website is very good, you are giving a really good product to your users, right? But if your page is showing up in the search result at 100 position, your business will not work out. Understand? So now, what you have,
Yeah.
you can either come to the top result either organically or inorganically. Now, when I say organically, mean there is one term which is called search engine optimization or SEO, right? And another term which is called search, engine marketing. So SEO, SEM. Now, these technique involves, increasing the chances of your website coming on top of your Google results, right? And there are a lot of tricks to that. So Google, whenever it lifts down your result, there are a lot of algorithm in play, very complex algorithm. So it checks how relevant your website, how many people come to your website, what is the content what is the quality of the content that is in your website, how secure your website, how many other website link to your website, how many website you link, which is called page rank. Anybody heard about page rank? It's called the page rank algorithm. Anybody knows about it? How the Google search? It's very interesting actually. If you have time, you can go and find out about it. How Google will show your result on top, right? So for that, there are a lot of people who does this, right? I mean, there are company who does search engine optimization or search engine marketing, and they guarantee you to bring your sites on top, for certain keywords. Of course, sometime it works, sometime it does not work if your content is not good. AEM also provides some out of the box tool using which you can increase your search rank, right? And there are a lot of things like if you have done the HTML coding, you would find out there are meta tags, right? There where you can provide a description and then you can link and also. Again, it's a very vast topic. I'll not go into the detail here, but that is how you can organically come. The second is you can come it or inorganically, meaning you don't want to invest too much time and effort into marketing or search engine optimization, or you just pay Google, right? I'm giving you $100, no matter what people search, right? How good the other website are, show my website on top, right? So Google will take money from you, and this is how Google makes money, right? It's one of the biggest companies in the world, right? I mean, a lot of people wonder, right, that you are using Google service, you are using Gmail for free, you have huge amount of space available in Google Drive, you are using Google Search for free, you are using Google Maps for free, but then Google is the biggest company in the world, right? How? Because they are making the money from you, right? Indirectly. The moment you click on a YouTube video and a ad plays, they get the money. The moment you click on an ad which is coming onto the Google search, they get the money, right? So this is how it works. So again, now coming back to the scenario, right? You are a new business. Either you can pay Google some money, right? And then show your result on the top, or you can do partnership with another websites, right? So for example, that Times of India is a very popular website where hundreds and thousands of people come, right? So you can talk to them and tell them, this is my ad. Maybe again, if you have gone to these kind of site, you may have shown ads there, right, on the website. So you can pay these website. Of course, they will charge less compared to Google because they would have not that reach, right? So then you would pay these. These are called third party website or partner website, right? So you can pay them. They can show your ad, and then people coming to the site, if they are interested in the product, they will click on the link, they'll land onto your website, and they will make a purchase, right? And there are many other ways of doing it, right? Now, if you are a business, you need to know which which strategy is better. Whether should I show my ads via Google and get more conversion, or whether I should go with a third party, right? That is one thing. How do you analyze, or how do you know which strategy is better? So analytics is a solution which can help you. So if analytics is nothing but a JavaScript sort of tag or code that you add into your website, and this tag basically tells you from where your users are coming, whether they have clicked on ads in Google and landed onto your page, whether they have clicked on a third party website and landed onto your page, right? So that's one criteria. The second would be, uh, say a user is coming to the website, right? Now you want to know what are the pages they are spending most time on, what are the pages they are spending less time, what are the product they are clicking more, what are the product they are not finding interesting. So maybe you can tune your website, right? You can, maybe the popular product you can show on top, right? The pages which are not engaging, maybe you can improve. So unless you know that, you would not be able to improve, right? Third thing could be, you would want to know, I have paid Google, okay? Google what will do, the moment you click on the ad link on the Google is going to charge you. Now after coming to your site, whether these guys would make a purchase or not, Google doesn't care. But you would want to know, right? The people who are maybe it might happen that 100 people are clicking on Google ads link, landing on your website, but only 2 people are making purchase. On the other hand, 100 people are clicking on third party website, landing onto your site, and 20 people are making purchase. Now which strategy is better? So conversion, right? How many percentage of people are getting converted? That again you can find out with the help of Adobe Analytics. And there are many other use cases. Again, we can't go into that detail. So Google Analytics is a solution which is there, and then Adobe Analytics is the solution which does all this, right? So using this, you can analyze your user behavior, from where they are coming, whether they are going, whether they are making a purchase, which page they are spending most time on, what product is interesting to them. All this analytics is in front of you using that analytics code in the form of a report, graphical report, right? So analytics and AEM is again a very common solution. In 90% of the project, you will see that AEM and analytics are integrated to get you the customer information. Does this make sense? Or any questions here? Guys, feel free to ask questions, as I told you, uh, because these are very basic and foundational level concept, which is going to help you in your life project, right? And the intent of this training is, as discussed, with the people who are sponsoring this training, is that we need you to, be confident and understand all the enterprise web content management, all these solutions, right? So, for example, if you appear for any interview or if you are working in a project, you have to know all these foundation concepts, right? I may be missing something. I may be not clear on some of the topics. So feel free, ask questions, and this is very important. Like digital transformation, digital marketing, all this concept we are covering here. I'm not covering only AEM. I'm covering all the ecosystem so that you have a complete picture, right? So any questions here?
Kumar, in the AEM itself, we have some functionalities for getting these analytics, or we need to use some other programs or
These are
some
different
other
products.
technologies.
These are different
Okay.
products. So experience manager is a different product, right?
Okay.
Analytics is a different product. So as a customer, if you buy, you have to buy a license for experience manager, and then if you want analytics or campaign or any other product, you have to buy a license. But because these products are from Adobe's family, they can integrate it very easily. So there is some configuration that you have to do, right? You have to connect these two solutions, and then you have to inject some JavaScript code into your pages, and then you can get all this insight. But these are different products. These are different UI. Where you can go and analyze. But at the code level, you have to do some integration.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
All right. So I hope you guys have understood the use case of analytics. So campaign analytics is the most common use solution. Then the another solution which you would see more often, I mean, not as often as analytics or campaign, but again, 50% of the customer is using with AEM is Target. Okay. Now, what Target is? Target is a personalization engine. Anybody knows what a personalization is, or A/B testing, or multivariate testing? So these are the terms which are used in digital transformation, digital marketing, uh, and this new digital world. Personalization, A/B testing, multivariate testing. Anyone? Any guesses?
Using this, we can target only our means related to the product. If my product is related to the only mail, then I can target only the mail.
Yeah.
Social
All
media.
right. Yeah, it is personalization, and it works at many level. Suppose you come to Amazon, and again I'll go back to my iPhone example. I don't know, or if you're Android phone, assume an Android one. So you go to Amazon, you search for iPhone, you browse, and then you leave. You come after a couple of days. You open the site. On the top of it, you will see iPhones offer, right? Anybody else come to the site, they will see something different. So now what you're doing, you're personalizing the website to your user behavior. So your website will know who you are, what you want, right? And then they will show you that content which you are interested in, right? You might have observed this, another example which is quite common, I don't know. I mean, I have seen this, some of you might have also seen is, suppose if you go to say yatra.com, You search for a flight from, say, Delhi to Bangalore, right? You compare the prices, you leave the site. Now you go to timesofindia.com, you will see offers popping up for Delhi to Bangalore flight. Anybody has observed this?
Yes, many times.
Yeah, I mean, not only a flight, maybe take any other product. You search for iPhone or you search for anything, right? And then you go to another site, you will see the ads of those products. So this is personalization, and this is a lot of again technologies behind it. Cookie based technologies, third party cookies, identity service, a lot of backend technologies there. But all these big companies are you tracking you, right? They track your location, they track what you do, which people you meet, which restaurant you go to, what product you use, what you are planning to buy, right? They have a lot of information about you, and they use it to personalize the content, right? I mean, it may be a win-win for some people because they don't have to do a lot of effort. They see what they want in front of their eyes. Some people may think this is the privacy into something, but again, Target is something which can do that personalization for you. You go to Amazon.com, there are 10 different people. They all go to Amazon.com, they will see all 10 different pages, right? Even though the URL is same, but the content would be served based on the users, right? So this is called personalization. Again, so this is a different product. Adobe provides this, and then you can integrate this with AEM, and then AEM can then serve the content based on the user preferences or any past behaviors. All right, so that's the target one. Again, one more thing is A/B testing. So A/B testing is like uh, again, Google does it quite often, and some of the other big companies also does. What they do, suppose they think they want to change the scheme or maybe the color combination of their search results, right? For example, if Google decides to change the link of the search result, right? They have two options. One is maybe showing the link in blue color. The other might be showing the link in maybe say violet color. Now they are not sure which one is working better, right? So what they do an A/B split or A/B testing. For example, for 50% of their customer, they would show the blue. For 50% of their customer, they would show the other color, maybe say violet or anything. Then they will see how customers are engaging, right? Another example could be A/B testing, which is quite often done is product placement, right? You on your website you show an offer. 50% of the people you show an offer that 10% off an MRP, and for 50% of the people you show a free shipping anywhere, right? And then you see the conversion. If you see that the free shipping offer is more uh, engaging or more interesting to the customer and more people are clicking on that offer, right, rather than the 10% off, then once the test is over, you apply that offer on your homepage. So that is A/B testing. You have two variations, right, of your content for your different customer. So Target can do it. You define the rules automatically, that for 50% of my customers show this, for 50% of my customers show this. Automatically Target will change the content based on the customer. And then this is A/B testing, again, which is a term in industry quite often used. Multivariate testing. Here, you apart from these two variation, you have more variation, right? Say you have 10% off and free shipping, A and B. In 10% off, again you have two banners, one in blue color, another is green color. So you can have many other you can see variations of it, which is called multi-variation testing. So this is again can be done with Target, and I can be used to find out what content is engaging, what working for your customer, and then using that strategy, right? So customer basically demand or customer conversion or your effectiveness of the campaign is defining how you want to serve the content. So this is what Target does. So how SEO is related to AEM? So SEO is not directly related to AEM. SEO is for any website in the world. If they want to appear on top of the search result, they have to do some sort of SEO. Either your website is like that, you do not need any optimization. It's so popular that people directly type in your website name, they don't go to Google, then you're good. But if you want that people searching on Google for a product and they see your website on top, then you have to do search engine optimization, right? So you can go to the internet and find out about more search engine optimization techniques. It is irrespective of what tool you're using to build out website. But of course, since AEM has a lot of features, it gives you some basic page level shortcuts using which you can apply that logic of search engine optimization into your pages. Okay, so I believe campaign, analytics, target is clear to you guys. Any questions here? Okay, so should I move ahead, guys?
Yes.
Okay, campaign and target, can you explain once? All right. So guys, campaign is a marketing automation tool using which you can orchestrate your email campaigns and mm, uh, SMS campaign, mobile push campaign. So from one solution, you can send out email to your users, right? You can send out SMS with one click of a button. You can send out mobile push. So it's a marketing automation tool, right? You do not have to go to multiple solutions to send out those marketing messages. And then there are a lot of other features. Again, if I start talking about the capabilities, then even the 1 hour would not be enough, right? So you can define marketing campaigns automatically. It will send out email to your users, newsletters automatically. You say you want that all your users get a newsletter of your new products every day, or maybe every Monday morning 10 a.m. automatically it will send out. You can define whenever somebody is placing an order on my website, automatically they get an email confirmation or an SMS of the order placement. That you can define in one tool, and again drag and drop interface, and automatically it will work. So that is campaign. Target, I think we just discussed, right? Personalization, A/B testing, multivariate testing, showing the content based on your user behavior. It could be past purchases, previous history, behavior on other website. Depending on that, you are showing them the content, right? So it's a personalization engine. All right. So I covered experience manager, campaign, analytics, and target in a little bit more detail. I am not going into the other tools which are less common with respect to AEM, but just to give you background, audience manager is basically can combine the data from your CRM, from your data warehouse, from your third-party systems, all right, your uh, you can say integration with the ad providers, and then you can combine and create a 360-degree profile of your customer, right? The entire, so if you go to Google, if you go to Facebook, if you go to Twitter, if you go to Amazon, if you go to Flipkart, all this data is getting collected, combined at one place, and your complete profile is created, that you are a male 30 years old who is not married, who's interested in sport, and who goes to a vacation during this year. All that information can be combined and then use it to target, right? So that's an audience manager. It's basically combine your audience and manages the audience so that you can target your customer better. Media optimizer is a tool which can help you place ads on, maybe so you have option of placing ads on Facebook, you can place ads on Google, you can place ads on Twitter, another website, etc. So from one interface you can bid for that ad space, you can place your ad, you can see how that is performing. So that is media optimizer. Prime time is something which is their video based solutions. Social, if you want to integrate your website with social, right? If you want to publish your content to a brand page on Facebook, or if you have a Twitter handle where you want to publish some content, or if you want to get the feedback that your customer is giving on social media into your own system, then you can use Adobe Social. All right, guys. So I'll be moving to the next slide. If you do not have any questions, any prerequisite to learn AEM, yes, I'll come to it. I just wanted to give you the background of the entire marketing cloud solution. We are going to come to AEM in more detail. I'll tell you what we need, and then Of course, I'll be sharing with the software and everything which you will be installing, and we'll be creating a complete website here. All right. So, it's a lot of theory in these, slides, which I have already explained, but I'll just quickly go over it. If you have any questions, you can pause me, ask your questions, right? So at the start of the training, I asked you what is a content management system or what is a web content management. So web content management is a bundled or a standalone application which is used to create, manage, store, and deploy content on web pages, right? So when we say bundled or standalone, what that means is it could be bundled into another application. For example, you could have a tool which can be your e-commerce software, right? I mean, I don't know if you have heard about IBM Webster Commerce, Magento Commerce, Hybris Commerce, Elastic Path e-commerce. So these are all e-commerce softwares. In this software, you can store your products, manage the inventory, manage your shipping and everything, and they also provide you a way to create your website pages of the product, right? So they have a web content module, though their main aim is to be an e-commerce engine, right? But in this case, this is a bundled, this web content management module is bundled into another software, is part of another software. Or it could be a standalone application itself, like AEM, which is solely used for creating. So you can create your web pages, you can manage them, right? Meaning you can edit them, you can delete them, you can store them, and then you can deploy them onto your website. Okay, so I think the first line should be clear to you. WCM could be bundled or could be a standalone application using which you can create, manage, store, and deploy the content on the web pages. A web content management solution will also help you catalog or index your content. Okay, meaning you would have, uh, for example, if you go to a site, right, then you would be finding a search box, right? If you enter something into the search box, right, it will show the search result. Now, in the search result, right, you can click on it and then you can go to the detail page and all. How that works? Because a web content management solution basically index the content, right? If you have anyone, if you have worked on databases, on Oracle databases, you would know what an index is, right? So it will index your pages, and then you can deliver the content to specific visitor in a personalized way. So personalization that we discussed, correct? Again, in a simple terms, WCM are basically used to resolve the issue of having highly experienced technical staff adding low-level content to a website. What that means is, if you have to create a website page, or if you have to add one product to your already existing website, and if you have to pay a senior software engineer lakhs of rupees a month just to do that, doesn't make sense, right? So using a web content management, anyone who does not know coding can create the content in AEM. Now, that anyone who can create the content in AEM is not you, right? Because you are the developers. So your job is to create the backend functionality or the component or the features using which you can drag and drop. So the dragging and dropping will be done by the product team, business team, marketing team, people who do not, uh, you know, just a second. So people who do not know the technical details, right? So we'll talk about the roles in AEM, right? There are a couple of roles. The one of the role is author. So author is the role who is responsible for creating the website pages. All right. You will not be an author. You would be a developer. So as a developer, you will be creating the content. All right. Or basically the foundation components using which the content will be created. Again, so some of the other things, it manages the small unit of information called web pages. Each of the pages will be interconnected via navigation. So you would see, right, the menu in a website using which uh, you can create web pages and then connect them via menu. Uh, then hierarchies, of course, again a part of the menu, which we'll see when we'll create the website. Cross linking will be there in the pages so that you can click on one page, you can move to another page. It is focused on page creation and editing, so you can do the content creation. You can do content control as well, right? For example, content control. For example, there is a news website. You as an say reporter, right, do not know any technical knowledge of creating a website, but using a web content management tool, you can just enter the information, it will be created in the page. But then as a reporter, you might have filed a story, but it might needs to go for approval from an editor or chief editor. Or in a shopping cart website, you as a marketing team have entered a new product, or as a product team, you might have entered a new product or pricing or discount, but it might have to go from the approval from your boss, right? So a web content management system or an enterprise web content management system also provide an approval workflow. So automatically when the content gets created, the person who is responsible for approving the content will get notified by email or notification, and then they can review the content, they can approve it one click, right? So content control is also very important in web enterprise content management, where the large organization involved and a lot of content is involved. So a non-technical user with an interface, no knowledge of programming language or markup language, they can create and manage the content. All right, guys. So let me move to next one. Now, one of the other important thing is in most of the web content management, you would have two systems. One would be called authoring interface, and the second would be called publishing. Madan, yeah, it's like WordPress. Yes, it is like WordPress, but WordPress is very basic. It does not have those very hi-fi feature which is required in enterprise content management. Managing multiple website, creating content translation, multiple region, multiple countries, a lot of digital asset management, workflow management, personalization, analytics integration, and whatnot, right? So WordPress does not have all these features. I mean, for basic, simple, medium website, it is fine. But when you talk about Fortune 500 companies, billion-dollar companies, they don't rely on WordPress. They rely on a tool like this. All right. So in a web content management system, you would have a publishing engine, right? Suppose if you have a server where you are creating the pages, you are creating the content, you while you are creating the content, you would not want somebody to come and then look at your page because you are still creating it, right? It is not final. It may have to get approval. So there are generally two systems. One is called author system. The second is called published, right? So on the author system, you create the content, right? You review it, you approve it. Once you approve it, it goes to a publishing engine. The publishing engine publish the content onto a live website. Make sense? And of course, we discussed about the approval process workflow, right? Which makes sure that the content is validated, reviewed, and approved before it is live. Any questions here? So what we discussed here is basically a generic web content management, right? It may apply to other solutions. So some of the other solutions like Sitecore, Team Site, right? These are some other web content management solution available in the market, which competes with AEM. So all these software provide more or less of these kind of features. Now talking about AEM or CQ, right? Now AEM is also known as CQ or CQ5 in the past, right? So if you hear this term, it is nothing but AEM only. So now if we talk about AEM in particular, Days CQ platform. Why it is called Days CQ platform? Because it was developed by a company called Day Software initially, which was later acquired by Adobe. Okay, so it's a CQ platform is an enterprise grade web content management system which allows you to build compelling content that combine web content management, right? So web content management means you can create, edit, manage, deploy the website. Workflow management, so like approval workflow or automated workflow which performs certain tasks. Digital asset management, like images, videos, PDF files management. Analytics, right, which we discussed. Social collaboration, social media integration, all those things it provides. Using this you can build and author websites. You can build the website and then you can you know uh, imply the enforcement of corporate design, meaning if you look at, say, any enterprise level website which is, say, Intel, for example, or Philips, or any site, right, you would see that there are thousands of pages, but all of the pages would have same font size, same font type, same background color, and a same design philosophy. There will be consistency, right? So you have to make sure that your website look consistent in every pages, even if there are thousands of pages. So with the help of AEM, you can apply that corporate design so that anybody creating the content, automatically those design standards are followed. Okay. Uh, it also provides user access control. So depending on user roles and rights, you would have the option of either um, creating the content or publishing the content or only viewing the content or deleting the content. So based on your rules, you can assign different rules to your users. Okay. Okay, like looks like a lot of people are dropping either the training, they're not finding the training interesting, or is there any other issue? I don't know. I think 5 or 6 people have dropped. Okay. And participant is also been a little bit, I think people are not interacting. Is it very heavy for you? Anything that is not clear, or am I going very fast? Something that is not clear to you?
No, sir, everything clear for me as well, but not sure about the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Kumar, it is clear only. You can go ahead with this flow.
All right. So yeah. So I mean, each of the line in the slides actually have a lot of meaning, right? And you have to understand and absorb what the software provides. Then you'll be able to appreciate the value. And this is very costly software. The license itself goes into millions of dollars. So okay, now workflow definition is already there for creation editing. So AEM comes out of the box with this default workflows using which you can create, edit, and publish the content. It can manage the repository of digital asset, right? So managing the digital asset is very complex. It's not very easy. In a large enterprise website, you may have thousands and even millions of images. Right now, finding out that right image while creating the content and using that onto your pages require a lot of effort, right? You should be able to quickly search it. You should be able to quickly use it. And not only images, nowadays website have videos. They have product brochures, PDF, manuscript, whatnot. And then the complexity increases when you have different device types. Right now, it's not only a desktop or a laptop. Now, if somebody is accessing your website on a desktop or a laptop with a high-speed connection, probably you would want to serve them the content or the image which is very high quality, high resolution, right? So your website look nice. But if somebody is accessing your website on a mobile device, which is a smaller screen, you may want to send them a smaller size image because it will still look nice because the screen size is less, right? Or somebody is accessing your website on a slow or a slow network connection. In that case, you would want to show them a very low resolution image so that your website loads faster, because if you send them a high resolution image, it will take a lot of time to load, and then people will be frustrated, right? Even if you think about yourself, if you go to a site and if you load or try to open a site which takes more than a minute, will close it, right? Even if you are sending them a very high quality images, but if it's taking too much time to load, people are gonna leave the site. So AEM can automatically serve the images based on the device type, and then you can test whether this connection is slow or fast based on that what you want to show them. It can create the content, or it can display the content in a responsive manner. Anybody is aware of responsive design?
Responsive design in the sense we can we can make a small as well like minimize and maximize based on the screen size they will be suited.
Yeah,
We
correct.
can
So right, earlier what used to happen, right? You would create a website, and then a lot of content, and then you will create another similar website for mobile devices, because your desktop site would have larger images, larger pages, larger content, and your mobile device, if uses that site, it will not look nice. So you used to create multiple sites. Now with AEM, you create only one page automatically using some technologies like Bootstrap, CSS3, media queries. Your page will get resized and will look better, whether it's a small 5-inch screen or whether it's a 20-inch bigger screen. So this is called responsive design, right? So based on that, it can serve the content, serve the images and all. It also provides you search mechanism, right? So using which you can find the content, no matter where it is stored into your database. Using that search it provides automatic search capabilities and some default search functionalities as well. You can also create blogs, forums, user groups, calendars, events using the AEM tool. You can apply tagging, right? So tagging is like just assigning a tag to your page or digital asset. For example, you have 10,000 images, and if you are uploading 100 more images, which has to be used for, say, summer marketing campaign, right? So while uploading, you write some logic, so automatically those 100 images will be applied a tag. So suppose you give the tag a name, say SMC, for summer marketing campaign. Now when you are creating the pages for that campaign, you go to the search box, you type SMC, automatically only those 100 images will come, right? So out of those thousands or millions of images, you can quickly search. So that is called tagging or taxonomy. So you can organize your digital assets. And then you can plan, design, launch, and optimize marketing campaigns, of course, personalization, offerings, and etc. So Gobind is asking, same web content on without merging up, same web content on multiple screen. I'm not sure, clear with the questions. Can you be a bit more detailed here? As you said, here we can create a custom template. Yeah, I mean, don't worry about template and all. I will going to cover that later on, right? Yeah, template, you have to create custom template, your own template to create the web pages, and we will do that. Yeah, but so Govind, yeah, I mean, it will not mess up your content if you view in a bigger screen or a smaller screen. You'll automatically adjust depending on the device type and device size. So in short, uh, the experience manager or AEM will manage your experiences. You can display your content in a desktop, in a device, say a tablet or something, or a mobile app. Of course, integration with the marketing cloud is there. So using that, you can integrate with Target, Analytics, Campaign, and all the other solutions, right? So you can see in this screenshot, you have a same page, but if you are accessing it in a desktop or a tablet or a mobile, you can see the content is layout differently, right? It's the same page, but still automatically it is getting laid out differently. It is used in almost, so if I talk about Fortune 500 companies, more than 70 to 80% companies are using it. It's so popular, right? Whether it's financial services, high tech, retail, government, all sort of companies, it's being used. Little bit of history of AEM. So as I said, right, it was developed by a Swiss Switzerland-based company called A Software. The first version was called Communic 1 and Communic 2, which was not an official release. Official release happened in 2002 with Communic 3, followed by 2005 in Communic 4 and 2008 Communic 5. It was later renamed to CQ5, And then there were some point releases like 5.2, 5.2, 5.1, 5.3, 5.4, 5.5. And I think somewhere around 5.4 or 5.5 in 2010, Adobe acquired this company and renamed it to Adobe Experience Manager. All right. Now, okay, so guys, I think I'll just take a 5 minutes break because I'll be continuously speaking. So just a 5 minutes break, and then we'll continue. Everybody fine with this?
Okay, sir. No, no
Okay.
problem.
Your
Yes, yes.
take a glass of water or take a bathroom break, and then we'll start in 9 o'clock. Yeah, right now 54. Yeah, we'll start in 6 minutes. All right, guys. Everyone here? Can we start now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So now, let's take a look at, if you are working into AEM project, what roles are there? So if you are in an AEM project, there are basically three main roles. Developer role is again further divided into, sort of two roles. Most often, some companies do not differentiate between those two, but we'll discuss this. So the first role is the author. So if you are an author, meaning you are part of the business team, marketing team, product team, right? So most often this will be your client, right? They will be the person who would be creating the pages using the AEM tool and using the component that you create, right? So as I said, with the help of AEM, you can drag and drop the components onto the page. You can create, edit, review, approve the content from the tool. So everything will that is done by a content creation team is done by most often the client side. Sometimes if a website is huge and they require a lot of people for authoring, then yes, they may have an authoring team who can help create the content. But again, this is a role which is least technical, or you would say non-technical, right? As an author, you would not know how the tool is working, how the component works, how they are created, developed, deployed, etc. You would just go to the site, you will create the page, and then you will publish it. The second role would be or I would say third role would be system admin role. So system admin role is someone who would be responsible for installation of AEM server onto your dev environment, QA environment, pre-prod environment, staging or prod environment. They would be responsible for upgrading the AEM from one version to another version when new releases come. They would also be responsible for deploying any security patches, any service packs. They would also be responsible for upgrading the infrastructure, both in terms of hardware and software, like operating system, virtual machine, or even the RAM or hard disk. They would also be responsible for setting up other system which works with AEM, which is called a dispatcher server or a caching server. And they most often would also be responsible for creating the Jenkins pipeline. They will get involved into it as a DevOps role. They may also create users, groups, permissions, and roles so that you can work. So typical system admin role. Again, this training is not about authoring. I will touch about how authoring is done so that you understand. I'll talk about little about system admin concept as well. But this training is focused on a developer role. So developer is the most technical person in the AEM project. They should have a good background and understanding of strong Java fundamentals. They should have a good or fair knowledge of HTML, JavaScript, CSS, UI design principles, a little bit on the request response and how that HTTP request works, response works, how the client server architecture works. And they are the people who would be creating these components, these templates, using which the authoring team will create the content. Any questions here?
No, sir.
All right. So demo is something which I will going to show you in the next class, because I'll be sharing the tonight or tomorrow early morning. I'll be sharing the software with you along with the license. Then you can, I'll show you how to install this onto your machine, and then I'll show you a demo of how to create a page, how to edit a page, how to publish the page, and then how do you use the component to add content, right? So that we're gonna do tomorrow. So what is a component? Component is nothing but something which author uses, and using that component, author can add the content onto the website. For example, in this screenshot, you see the component box where you see a download component, image component, and a list component, right? Just for the reference or for the example. Now, suppose as a content author, you need to provide a button on your website on which the user clicks, and then they are able to download maybe a product brochure or an image or any document, right? So what you will do, you will drag with the help of mouse this download component and drop onto your page. Then after dropping, you will click on it, and then you will configure what file to be downloaded once user clicks on it. Same goes for the image component or a text component, right? If you want to add an image to a page, you will drag and drop an image component to the page. You will double click on it, and then you will configure what image to show on the page, right? That is the author part. Now, as a developer, you will be writing the backend logic. So at the back of each component, there is a script file, right? Usually it is written in JSP or a special language, templating language, which is developed by Adobe, which is called HTL. Okay, I think it's hypertext templating language. It is also called Sightly, right? Most often, new component development in AEM is done using HTL or Sightly. JSP is the older one, but if possible, I'll show you how to create a component in JSP in case if you work in a project where JSP is also required. But most of the development that we will be doing in our project is using the latest technology, which is HTL or Sightly. So at the end of the component, you have to write the component script, you have to write configuration boxes using which the configuration can be done. If it requires any backend integration, you also have to write the backend Java code and integrate this, right? So that is something we'll do. So this is how the component looks like. Template. Now, what is a template? So template is something which is again author uses to create a page, right? So one is creating the page, another is creating the content. Now, when you want to create a page in AEM, you would not be able to create unless you have a template. Now, what is the benefit of template? Template gives you the initial content. For example, if you go to say Amazon, right? You go to a product page, you will see that at the top there is a header where is maybe different links say categories, my orders, offers, whatnot, login. At the bottom you would see a footer, which is again, if you go to any of the page, that header and footer remains the same, right? And then in the middle probably you see a product component, right? The product image, the pricing, the ratings and reviews, the details or descriptions. So they have a standard format, right? So what you do in AEM, you create a template which gives you the initial content. So you know that even if I have to create 10,000 product pages, the header, right, where the login box is there, category box is there, search box is there, register box is there, at the bottom contact is going to remain the same in all the 10,000 pages. So why to worry the authors of adding all those comments again? We create a template which has the common content. So the moment author uses it, you know, they will get that common content automatically. They don't need to worry about it, right? So you would have different type of templates. Suppose if your home page is different, your product page is different, your product detail page is different, your shopping page is different, right? You might have 8 to 10, 12 categories of the pages, and based on those 8 to 10 or 12 categories, you might have thousands of pages, right? So depending on how many unique type of pages you have in your website, you would have that many unique templates, right? So you can see in the screenshot, you have a content page template, you have a home page template, you have a forum page template. So if you want to create a content page which have a lot of content, right, you would choose the content page template where you get the header, footer, and some of the basic structure already in place. If you want to create a forum page, right, you will choose a template which is forum, right? So this is the sample website which I'm showing here. So again, author will use it, and as a developer, you are responsible for creating the templates. Okay, so developer will be creating these component and developer will be creating these templates. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So AEM developer will be creating the templates and components. This is a tool which comes within AEM, which is called CRXDE or CRX editor, using which you can create the component and template. I mean, for initial, component development, template development, this tool works fine. But if you want to do backend coding or Java coding, you would have to go to Eclipse. Anybody here who have not used Eclipse or do not know how to use Eclipse ID? Okay, I assume everybody is aware of Eclipse IDE, right? How to install it, configure it, and use it.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, we
yes.
are
Yeah,
working on that.
Yes.
cool. All right, guys. So then we will again admin task I have already discussed, right? So as I told you, right, to become an AEM developer, you need to have the basic knowledge of web application, including the request response, right? How the REST services work, how the HTTP protocol work, what is the get method, post method, what is HTTP request, HTTP response, what is an HTML, how do we write, what type of tags are there, how CSS works, right? You may not need to be expert in CSS or JavaScript, but yes, you have to understand what CSS is, how it works, what is JavaScript, because we will be using some of the CSS and JavaScript concept in our development. Usually, in many projects, the AEM developer are divided into two categories. One is AEM backend developer, the other is AEM front-end developer. Front-end developer don't need to worry too much about the complexity of AEM because they can concentrate on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and hand it over to AEM backend developer. AEM backend developer is the one who does 75-80% of the task because they take the CSS, HTML from the front end developer, they convert into AEM components, templates, dialogues, backend code, integration, testing, everything, right? I believe everybody of you here is more on the backend side, not on the front end side, right? So we'll be focusing on the backend development, which is the major development task in AEM. But still you have to understand the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Slightly, of course, which is I'm going to train you, which is a proprietary or Adobe's defined or developed language that I'm going to teach you. You also have to understand how the CRX works, which I'm going to explain as part of the training. If you have a basic knowledge of JSP, that will also help, although we will not focus more on JSP because that has been now deprecated and Adobe does not suggest to use JSP. But still, if I want to show you how the older component used to work, or if you work in an older project, then if you have a basic knowledge of JSP, then of course it will help. And Java, you should have a basic understanding of Java, how the threads work, how the collection classes works, how the annotation works, how the interfaces work, how do we extend a class, how do we implement the interfaces, right? How do we compile it, and how the life cycle of Java virtual machine bytecode. That is a basic necessity. So if anyone who does not have that experience, please try to brush up your knowledge. In terms of system requirement, you should have a Windows 7 or higher version. 64-bit is preferred. The RAM, if 8 GB is good. I mean, you should have at least 8 GB of RAM. Otherwise, the system might struggle because it's a very heavy software, right? And you should have a good dual core or quad core processor. Software version, JDK 1.7, I will be providing you. Maven, again, I can give it to you. AEM jar file and license file, I'll be providing you. Eclipse, again, you can download or I can give it to you on your email ID. We are not using GitHub because we are not working on a live project, so we don't need GitHub. CRXD is something which will come with AEM, right? So this is the system requirement and the software requirement. Any questions here?
No.
All right.
No.
Okay, so now in terms of AEM installation directory structure, this is again something which I'm going to show you hands-on and you will be doing with me. Um, but when you install the AEM, right, this is how the directory structure look like. In one folder, you would have to keep your jar file, which is your installation file, and then you can run it via the command line, or you can double click on it. You should have a license files in the same directory, otherwise it will not work. And again, the same software works as an author or publish depending on how you install it. So author is somewhere where people basically create the content, publish is where the live website is hosted. All right. Okay. Sandeep is saying no, sir. So I don't know what no is for. But Sandeep, what do you mean by no? I didn't understand. All right. So yeah. Now once you install, once you double click, a directory will be created where you will find these different directories. Okay, so Sandeep said I understood. Okay, so the first directory would be apps directory. Here, your all the server jar would be there, which when you run will be executed from here. So main your AEM would run from this directory. You will have a bin directory where you will have batch files or shell files if you want to run it by the command line or install onto a Linux server. Logs directory is a very important directory where you will see the log. Everybody understand the concept of log files, I assume, right? So log files is somewhere where you can see and go and check if there is any error coming. Then you have a conf directory where there's a lot of configuration files which you can use it to configure your AEM in terms of memory, in terms of any other property files, values that you want to supply. There's a launchpad directory which you generally do not touch. So whatever software you install, whatever jar files or Java files you install are stored in the launchpad directory. Then there is an opt directory again, which is something which if you are a system admin or if you want to run AEM as a Windows service, there are some scripts using which you can, as a developer, you would probably not need it. And there would be a repository. Now this would be important. Again, you will not go and touch here something, but everything in AEM that you create, whether it's a component, code, Java file, page, website, everything is stored in this repository directory, right? AEM's database or any system have a database like Oracle or MySQL. So in case of AEM, the database is a file system based. So everything that you create gets stored in the file system itself, right? And the repository for it is in encrypted format. So if you go there and try to look into, you would not understand because it is encrypted. But everything that you create is there. If this gets corrupted, your AEM installation will be gone. Any questions here?
No.
All right.
No, Kumar.
So author and publish instance, again, try to understand the difference between author and publish instance. People would ask you, right, if you are maybe appearing in any interview or something, then, what is an author? So author is something where people create the content, right? It is not accessible to your website visitor. It is behind the firewall, right? So you create the content here, you review it, approve it, then you click on activate or replicate. In that case, it goes to another server which is called publish, which hosts your live website. Now you use the same software to install the author and the publish, but in a different mode. You have to do configuration, right? You once you install this as an author, you cannot change it to publish. If you install it as a publish, you cannot change it as an author, right? So author is the place where you can change, edit, update the content. Publish is only for viewing. You would not be able to make any changes on the publish server. For our training purposes, we would note only author, because we'll be doing the development. Publish is needed for viewing. So viewing we can do on the author itself. There is a mode in author using which we can see how the content will look on a publish server. So if you want, you can install publish. Otherwise, author is enough. Because we can see how the content is going to look onto the publish servers, right? How many of you have worked on a real a client project, customer projects? Everybody?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so you should understand, the development environment, testing, staging, production environment, Jenkins, integration, deployment,
Yes,
cruise control.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yes, yes, yes.
all right. Installation step for author. I'm just going to going to do a quick walkthrough. I'm not, going into detail because this is something which I'm going to show you live. So we just create a directory inside our server, like AEM. Inside that, we create author or publish directory. There is a jar file which we have to copy in there along with the license. Now, if we want to run this as author, we have to rename the file to cq-author.4502.jar. Author name in the file name suggests that we want to install this as an author server. 4502 is signifies the port number on which we want to run. If we do not give any port number, it will automatically run on 4502. But if we want to give any other port, we can give it, right? And then you double click on it. Once the author is installed, I mean, initially it will take a couple of minutes because it will extract all the directories, it will install and do configuration. First time it might take a couple of minutes. Once it is started, automatically your browser will open and you will see a login window using which you can log into the AEM instance. Next time, after stopping, you start it, it will start quickly because the installation is already done. So this is how you install the author instance. For publish instance, again, the steps are exactly the same. The only difference is the name of the file should be CQ publish 4503. 4503 is the default port. You can change it also. So if the name of the file is publish, it will start it as a publish server. Okay, so typical configuration, you would have author instance where author will be creating the content. Usually you have one, but in a bigger project, you would have more than one author as well. You would have, of course, more than one publish server, right, which will be load balanced. So once you create the content, you click on a activate, the page goes to all the publish servers, 2, 3, 4, any number of publish server, it will go to all the publish and it will be live, right? Between the publish server and your website visitor, there is another server called dispatcher, which is an Apache web server. Now dispatcher server job is to do the load balancing and caching, right? Caching of static content. Again, we are going to go into more detail on this, but it's like, uh, say images or CSS or JavaScript, which does not change very often. It will store this into web server, right? It will not fetch from publish. So the website performance will be faster. So the request come to dispatcher first. It will check, which publish servers are available. It will distribute the load. So you can see that this request coming to dispatcher, it is sending to, for dispatcher 1 is sending a request to publisher 1, publisher 2, and dispatcher 2 is sending a request to publisher 2 and publisher 3, right? So it is kind of load balancing for the load does not come. You guys understand the concept of load balancing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's the same load balancing. I think someone's speaking, but the voice is breaking. I don't know if it's for me or everyone.
It's for everyone, sir. The voice was breaking.
Okay, yeah, I mean, if you have any sound issues, you can send me the questions on chat as well. Yeah, so this is how the typical architecture, of course, it's more complex in production, which we'll discuss later on. But this is how the typical installation or configuration looks like for an AEM project. All right, so let me check if I have got the details of everyone here. Okay.
Kumar, I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can we use it in STS, string tool suite as well?
Sorry, what? FTS, Spring?
With the help of I. Yes, yes.
No, Spring, FTS is
Uh,
basically for Spring application, right? AEM have nothing to do with FTS. Usually you would use its inbuilt editor for creating all the components. And if you want to Java coding, you can do in Eclipse because there is an Eclipse integration with AEM server, a plugin, using which you can see your AEM server into Eclipse. So I have never used FTS and I have never seen in my 15 years of experience using FTS for AEM projects. But yeah, I mean, if you want, you can give it a try. Any other questions, guys, before I end this?
Kumar, can you share this PPT with us?
Sure. Yeah, I'll be loading all the softwares, the PowerPoints, and later on code also. So for that you can take a look. Load balancer is not a concept of microservices. Load balancer is a concept which help you to distribute the load of your website between multiple servers, so that your website is not becomes slow, right? So it's like distributing the load between different machines, so everybody can contribute. Video, I am not the admin, so I'm not sure if I have it. I will have it, but yeah, if, otherwise I'll check with Srinivas.
So, video, if possible, please share with us.
Sure, yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. So test is, yeah, I mean, there will be multiple choice questions because I'll be asking some of the question which is coming into the certification exam. So in case if anybody is planning to go for certificate, that can help you. As far as live demo something is concerned, yeah, you will have to do the coding with me. So we will start creating the smaller component and then we'll move into the website creation. So I will show you first how to do it, and then you will have to do on your machine and show it to me. So I'll have to keep track that everybody is doing it. If anybody is not doing it, then I'll have to flag it and then report that into my status. So yeah, initially we will go over the theoretical part, but then later on we will move to practical hands-on part, which you will have to do along with me. I mean, if you are not able to do during the training, you can do it later on also.
Okay, sure.
All right, guys. Thank you everyone for joining, and then I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.